Hi, my dear students. I welcome you all to the online session. In this video, I am going to explain 8th Social Geography Chapter 2 Land, Soil, Water, Natural Vegetation and Wildlife Resources. First topic we are going to cover, it is land. Where we are living, where we are standing, where the bus is running, where we are doing agriculture, where we are constructing home, everything it is in land. So land is a natural resource. How the land is distributed in Earth's surface? Yes, you already studied in 6th standard social that the whole earth it is covered 70% by water and 30% by land. So the land area in the earth's surface it is 30%. What are the uses of land? I already said land is meant for agriculture purpose, forestry, mining, where you are staying in home, it is built in land only, roads, industries, everything constructed in land. And these are the uses of land. What are the determinants of land? How it is determined? Using two factors. First one is physical factor and second one is human factor. Human factor is population and technology. In particular town, if it is Chennai, population is more. And if it is a village, population is very less. And how they are using the technology, that is also an important factor, human factor. And physical factors divided into topography. Topography means mountains. People prefer to live in plains, not in mountains. And water availability. If the water availability is more, many people used to stay there. And soil, how the soil it will be. Mineral content, how the mineral content it will be. And climatic factors of the particular place. These are the different factors that determines the usage of the particular land area. And classification of land. Based on the ownership, the land is classified into two. Private land and community land. What does mean by private land? If a land belongs to a particular individual, only one person, you may build a house, you may do farming, but it belongs only to a particular individual. It is called a private land. What does mean by community land? If the land is owned by a particular community, group of persons, group of community, meant for some purpose, group of persons having the rights in the same land. So it belongs to some community, maybe industries or some agriculture purpose, whatever it is. The complete land is owned by a community. So it is called as community land. What are the major threats to the environment, to the land? Land degradation, first thing. I will show you the picture of land degradation. See, this is land degradation. Completely the land is spoiled due to both natural cause and also due to humans. Nilachiralivu, it is called as land degradation. And second one, it is landslides, Nilacharivu. See, the sloping up the land, it is coming down due to some natural effects. It is called as landslides. And third one is soil erosion. Soil erosion means this happens when it is raining or some other weather conditions, the top layer of the soil is completely removed. The top layer of the soil is completely removed due to some natural effects or due to some human effects. That is called as soil erosion and deforestation. These are the four major threats that happens to the land. And here comes how to conserve these land resources. Afforestation. You want to plant more trees. You should not cut any trees. Instead of that, you want to plant many trees. And second thing is land reclamation. Reclamation, it means we are going to restore the land. What we have spoiled due to human or natural phenomena, we are going to restore the land. We are taking some wet soils or something from the seas or some places, and we are going to reconstruct the land, restore the land. That is called as land reclamation. And regulated use of, we want to use chemical pesticides and fertilizers, it want to be a regulated use. And we want to check overgrazing. So here we want to check this is the use of pesticides. We want to use regulated chemical pesticides. And we want to avoid overgrazing. As a conclusion for land, it is a natural resource. We should not throw any waste or anything in the land. It is a God gift to us. So we want to preserve the land in a proper manner. We should not spoil the land. And the second topic goes soil. Yes, what is meant by soil? How can we define soil first? We everyone know what is soil, but how can we define soil? The thin layer of grainy substance covering the earth's surface, the top layer, the thin layer of grainy substance that cover the earth's surface, that is called as soil. And for example, if I am saying that, see here it is your home, it is your home. You are having a plant here, okay? Just I am taking some roots from there and it is planted in my house, okay? In your house, that plant is growing very well. But the same plant, it is not growing in my home. Why? What is the reason? The same plant, what I get from you, it is not growing in my house. But in your home, it is growing very well. What is the reason? Yes, completely it is due to the soil present in the particular place. The right mix of minerals and organic matter, that only makes the soil fertile. If the soil is fertile, the plant will grow well. If it get good minerals, water, everything, then it grow properly. Or else, it never grow properly. Even though if you are pouring the water and if it is getting proper sunlight, if the soil is not getting any minerals or organic matters, then it won't be growing well. This is the reason for that. Some plants growing in some regions it is growing well and some regions it is not growing well. And this is the soil profile. The top soil where you can see all the plants, that is called as top soil. It is covered with humus and vegetation happens there only. And the second part, you can see here subsoil. It consists of small slit, that is small stone, sand and some clay materials will be there in subsoil. And the third layer is weathered rock materials. Some rocky materials, weathered rocky materials will be there in the third portion. And the fourth portion is completely covered by parent rock. Large rocks, big rocks will be there present in the fourth layer of this soil. These are the four soil profile consisting of 4 layers: topsoil, subsoil, weathered soil rock and parent rock. Next comes the factors of soil formation. How the soil is forming, what are the factors including? Yes, we can go through. There are the 5 factors including. First one is parent material, that is parent rock. This parent rock, the fourth layer I show you in the fourth soil profile, no? That is parent rock. The parent rock, it will decide the color, texture and chemical properties of minerals present in the soil content. Okay, it will decide the color of the soil. In some places the soil will be thick brownish color and reddish color. The soil colors will be varying. So this color and texture, that's completely depends on the parent rock. And second one is climate. This climate means temperature, rainfall and weathering. This will be the factors for climate. And third one is topography, where we are living, altitude, height and slope, where the soil is there, in whether it is in slope or it is in flat area, and the altitude means height, and these determines the topography. And time, the time of the soil, it will fix the thickness of the soil. Time will decide the thickness of the soil. And flora fauna, that means plants and animals, it will decide the humus formation in the soil. The plants and animals, that is flora and fauna, will decide the humus formation in the soil. Next comes the degradation of the soil. How the soil is degrading? That is mainly due to soil erosion and depletion. These are the major threats to the soil resource. And this is caused due to human and natural factors. And what are the things lead to soil degradation? Deforestation, we are cutting the trees, overgrazing, and overuse of this chemical fertilizers and pesticides, that too will spoil the soil. And rainwash, that is the natural cause, and landslides and floods. and these are the reasons of degradation of soil. We humans, we should not spoil the soil. Both the degradation of soil, it happens due to natural and also human effects. So we want to reduce the giving the effects to the soil. And what are the methods to conserve the soil? We are having 7 types of methods to conserve the soil. And first one is mulching. That is a bare ground between the bare ground, that is an organic matter present between the plant and the soil. Here you can see I will draw and show you. In between the plant and under it will be the soil will be there. Between this plant and soil, the organic matter will be there. We are going to, for example, in your home, if you are planting a rose plant, right? If you are planting and growing a rose plant, for that, what are the organic materials you will give for the plant? Yes, in my home, I will put some vegetable waste and egg waste, eggshell, like that. I will put many organic matters so that it will get more minerals and water content. It will retain the water always and it will grow properly. So this is called as mulching. The bare ground between the plants and the soil, it is called as mulching. And second method, it is counter barriers. What does mean by counter barriers? Stones, grass, soil are used to build barriers along the counters. Here trenches are there. What does mean by a trench? It is used to collect the water in front of all the barriers. See, for all it is divided into different barriers, and between all the barriers the trenches are there, so that if any extra water is there, it will be stored in these trenches, and afterwards it is collected in the trenches and it will be used. Okay, so the trenches, it is made in front of the counters and it is used to collect the water. This is the second method, contour barriers. That is, it is built by stones, grasses or soil, anyone it is built, and the trenches are between all the barriers so that it will collect the water in between the barriers. And third method of conservation of soil is rock dams. Many rocks or stones, here you can see many stones, they are piled up, that is one by one it is piled up. Why we are piling up these rocks? Because, for example, if you are just pouring a water in a soil, what happens? The soil will erode, the top layer of the soil will erode. If I am keeping some 2 or 3 big stones in the soil and afterwards I am pouring the water, the soil erosion will be very less. Okay, this is the method to conserve the soil erosion. Okay, soil loss. The soil won't loss if you are piling up many rocks and we are building up, the water flow will be getting low, so that the soil loss will be also be low, so the soil can be conserved. And this is the third method. First method, mulching, bare ground between plants and soil, and counter barriers is the second method, and third method, it is rock dam. And the fourth method, it is terrace farming. That is a broad flat steps. It is made in a steep slopes. When there is a slope, sarivu, in that slope we are building a broad flat steps, so that it will reduce the surface runoff and soil erosion. Both it will reduce the surface runoff and also the soil erosion. The broad steps are built in a steep slope, that is called as terrace farming. This will reduce the soil erosion and surface runoff. So the fifth method, it is intercropping. What does mean by intercropping? See here, in this row they have planted different crop, and again in this row they have planted different crop, and again alternative rows they have planted a different crop. For what they are doing this means to prevent the soil rain wash. So for example, just I am saying here, this crop is going to be harvested in March. Okay, and this crop it is harvested in January, so that the soil we can able to prevent the soil during the rain wash. So if the crop is there, the root will be going underground and it will prevent the soil. So any one crop alternatively it will be there. If during January, if the harvest is there, all these crops will be harvested, but this crops will be there. So the roots of this crop will be preventing the soil erosion. So that we are using this intercropping method. That is cropping different crops in alternative rows. That is called as intercropping. And the next method is shelter belts. In coastal and dry areas, what they will do, no? They will plant a row of trees. Here you can see many trees. Here the crops are there. To prevent these crops, many trees are planted in a rows to check the wind movement, so that it will protect the soil. For what present here, it will protect the soil. So that we are using this shelter belts in the coastal and dry areas. It will the wind will be there flowing in this blowing in this trees, so that it will prevent the soil present in this part. And we gone through land and soil in the first part, and in the next part of the video I will cover water, natural vegetation and wildlife resources. Thank you dears.